Greetings, everyone, and welcome to a Jedi-jabbing, Trekkie-trolling, Doctor Who doxing edition of Monster Party.
Monster Party.
Monster Party. How dare you like Monster Party?
Oh, I don't like them.
I like Monster Party more than you.
That's whatever happened to Monster Party.
Whatever Monster Party. It used to be
It's
good.
my
What
Monster
the hell's
Party.
up
It's
with
not
Monster
yours.
You know,
Yeah.
the first 300 episodes were good, but as soon as they got to 301, what the fuck happened?
This is not my Monster Party.
This sounds pretty toxic here, folks.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh.
But before we get into this whole toxic realm, I am Matt Weinhold.
I am Shawn Sheridan.
I am Larry STROTHE.
And I'm James Gonis.
And for this episode, we are going to talk about something that not long ago, when James and Larry and I were in San Francisco, we were talking a bit about this with August Rugoni. And we thought, this is a good time to talk about this subject. And the subject is toxic fandom.
Toxic fandom.
Toxic fandom.
Toxic.
Why so mad, fans?
Yeah, I mean,
Can't we all just enjoy things?
well, it's like I understand people have strong feelings about something.
Sure, of course, especially nerds.
Yeah, but how can we do this, man? We need a nerd that has strong feelings.
We need the alpha toxic nerd.
we need a nerd who's so anti-toxic.
No, he's a breath of fresh air. He comes in and he makes it all right again. And our guest for tonight fits in the category of an honorary fifth member of the show.
Yes.
Yes. Or literal fifth member if Larry doesn't turn over yet another new leaf. Now, he is a dear friend to all of us and really is the glue that holds the guest roster of Monster Party together. He's an absurdly talented actor, writer, artist, and podcaster who has lent his talents to such projects as Stand Against Evil, Super Adventure Team, Mr. Show with Bob and David, The Usual Suspects, The Karate Kid, QUINCY M.E, Duck Dodgers, and his own podcast, Nerd Poker. Let us not forget, he was also the man who introduced the world to the greatest culinary inventions of our time, Chicken McNuggets and the Shamrock Shake. Please welcome back, lightning in a Ken Daly shaped bottle, Ken Daly.
Ken Daly!
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's great to be back. Nice to
it's
see all of
always,
you.
always good to have you back.
Yes.
You bring a little class to the show. We're just a bunch of clowns, but you come in here and suddenly everything makes sense.
That's looking at the world through Larry colored glasses.
But speaking of me, toxic fandom.
Sex and toxic fandom.
Well, it's like, okay, so listeners, you're like toxic fandom. What do you mean? Well,
What? Huh? What is it?
Well, what if there's something out there that there's a genre thing that you really like.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, let's say the studio decides, hey, let's put a new dress on the old girl. Let's make something new and different and fresh.
Okay.
And you just go nuts.
I hate it.
Nuts, and you hate it. And look, I'll be honest, on this show, I've hated things. Right?
Looking at us directly.
But sometimes we need to say to ourselves, well, do we appreciate what the studio was trying to do? Are they trying to, keep that thing alive and look at things with a different set of eyes, or go back to your 12-year-old self and say, hey, if I just think like a kid again, maybe I would enjoy it more.
And also, there's the other kind of toxic fandom where everybody loves this thing, but for some reason, the way that other person loves it is wrong.
Right.
And your way of loving it is right. Or there's a character that you think should be getting more attention than another character. And then there are the haters. Then there's the flat out haters, the people that have to bring some sort of agenda to their liking or disliking of some franchise.
For younger listeners, a little bit of context. Once upon a time, there used to be more limited media. There was no internet. There were newspapers and magazines and TV movie critics. So there were maybe, 24 people who gave their opinions on movies, sometimes TV shows, maybe in TV Guide. Then something happened called the internet. And a lot of those movies, those magazines and newspapers folded. And now we have users of the internet who have a more vocal voice than they ever did before, and the power to use it, and dialogue, and sometimes arguments that spring up, and websites like Rotten Tomatoes that further give the average moviegoer a voice, a critical voice and opinion. So things have changed dramatically since we were kids.
Well, yeah, I think in some ways, genre fans, especially, the nerds of today, don't realize how good they really have it compared to what things used to be, as far as the amount of media, of films and TV shows and comics and toys, whatever it is. As we said many times before, nerds run Hollywood, nerds now run the entertainment business. So there's such a glut of stuff to choose from. I mean, think of all the sci-fi and horror projects there are out there for fans to watch. I mean, it's insane. You can't possibly, even as a one person, catch up with all of it, really. I mean, it would take you a lifetime. And yes, because there's so much, not all of it's good, but there's also a lot of amazing, great stuff. And I just think that I do think in some ways genre fans maybe have become spoiled because something maybe is not the way they want it, or it's not, they don't get it, or it's just not their thing. But my God, at least we have it. It's just, there's really is a strange aura of entitlement and ownership that genre fans especially have now, whether it's superhero movies or whatever, the big franchises, that wasn't the case before. The attitude has changed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's also that everything is genre now. It's like, everyone is a nerd and everyone wants to identify as a nerd.
Yeah, right.
Even people who really aren't. It's like, and they wrap their whole life into whatever that thing, that Star Wars, Star Trek, whatever it is. And we did that as kids, but it's now that there's merch and so many more conventions and everything is genre. All of entertainment is genre now.
Right.
Like there's not so much comedies. You don't see so much romantic comedies or dramas. It's horror, sci-fi, and
superheroes,
and superhero
animated
movies.
And I think, but also like back, especially when we were growing up, there was this kind of a sense of wonder about Hollywood, and there's almost like a naive kind of trusting attitude towards the makers of the stuff that we liked. There was less cynicism, and as James pointed out, now a movie before it even comes out can be picked apart and examined and analyzed and debated before we even see the movie. Like there's access to everything.
Trailer reaction videos.
Yeah.
As soon as a trailer comes out, there's 100 reation videos.
Right.
People are predicting what's going to be in the movie, what they don't like about it.
It's so strange.
It's a very different world.
Yeah. And I think that, even back in the good old days, there was always some amount of fan friction, but
Star Wars, Star Trek, the various different science fiction authors, people had their camps. But I think for the most part, there was a sense of unity because we were all into this thing that was esoteric. And as you were saying, with everything being genre now, there isn't that sense of a kinship, a loyalty to each other. It's not a little club anymore.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And also, because it was like this special thing back in the day, we were very protective of it. But there's not so much fighting amongst ourselves because we were all part of that little club. So we all understood that. And it's like, I don't like what you like, but I'm not going to judge you for it or talk you down for it. Right. You just disagreed.
Right.
No.
And because of the internet and social media now, everybody can broadcast their opinions like never before about anything, to the point of ad nauseum. I mean, you can nitpick and go after people directly and in real time over things, you know?
Well, and then with the anonymity of the internet, you're also allowed to be a bully.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
you're faceless and you can lash out, and whatever weird anger issues you have, you can get them all out on the internet.
Now, why are you looking at me while you're saying that?
Of all your 17 different fake names on
look,
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I'm going to
Yeah.
go out on a limb here. First of all, I am not that kind of guy that goes hunting for these things and putting things on the internet without my name, saying, "Oh, I'd like to." It's always been on Monster Party, and maybe I have
You own
come
it.
off as a bully at sometimes. What I've tried to do, but I've understood I've learned some things. One of the things, like, for example, let's just use Star Wars as the example, okay? Because it's look, when we grew up, the five of us, back in the late 70s and the early 80s, we had our Star Wars Empire and Return of the Jedi, and that was our little Star Wars world. When the next batch came in, boy, I was excited. And when I saw what came out with the Phantom Menace, I was just mortified. I was shocked. And I'm an adult and I'm watching this, and it was just terrible. But I understand now that someone who was 5 at the time and their dad took them to see that film, Phantom Menace, that kid has a certain love for that film, even though I may despise it. And I've tried to go out of my way to point out what the problems were, whether it be the story or the characters or things like that. But there are other people who really like it. Just recently, I saw this young woman who was so excited about getting this vintage Jar Jar Binks toy that came out in 2000, and she was wearing a Jar Jar Binks outfit with the sleeves that had the little Gundam, the little tattoo things on it, and she loved that character. And I'm watching this, and she was passionate. She was so thrilled that she had this, and it kind of made me think, wow, it's the same thing with you guys, how I would tease you about Doctor Who. Okay. Like, I always thought, oh, Doctor Who, it's so low budget, and I would like rip into it. But then that time, Matt, when you said, hey, Larry, let's watch this episode. And you showed me this one episode. And granted, it was a later episode, but it was terrific. It was really great. And it gave me a new understanding. Sometimes I think we can get all worked up about those special things that we saw as kids, or like whether it be classic Star Wars or classic Star Trek. And then now when you see something new, oh, it's not my Star Trek or it's not my Star Wars. Look at Star Trek, for example. We grew up on the classic Star Trek with William Shatner. I remember when The Next Generation came out, there were a lot of people that were very upset about it.
Yeah.
The captain is bald, and who's the girl who can feel things with her mind, and that robot is just, he's like Spock. The people were just ripping on it. But now what's happened is that came out in the 80s, and now that's like vintage, and people like love it, and they're ripping on the newer stuff, whether it be the Chris Pine stuff or Picard or Strange New Worlds or whatever. Look,
that would be me.
I will say Sean brought up a great point about
what?
Yes, we should be glad that this stuff is still being made for us today. Maybe it doesn't always work for us, but it's connecting with a younger Star Trek fan or a younger Star Wars fan. And if the goal is to try to keep this stuff out in the world and continuing the legacy of that property, then it's actually a good thing, don't you think?
It's a good thing, but I think that when you get to the toxic part of toxic fandom, the pathology is these people get into a show and then it becomes almost like their religion. And so if you do anything that goes against scripture, they freak the fuck out to the point where, I've heard about people who work on these shows getting death threats.
What?
And I don't doubt it at all.
I believe it. Yeah.
Phantom Menace is actually a perfect example, and maybe kind of the watershed turning point of when a lot of this started, because the actors who played young Anakin, Jake Lloyd, and the actor who played Jar Jar, they got so much hate. I mean, the actor who played Jar Jar contemplated suicide.
Yeah.
And I don't remember that ever entering into the public discourse, back when we were kids.
Yeah. Maybe we're being a little hard on this. Yeah.
But it has a happy note. He went to a huge convention. Was it the D3 thing. They had the Disney convention.
The Jar Jar
And
Binks actor.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
he
yeah.
was like the people were
Now
cheering.
everything comes around,
which is great.
But that even more so though when the Last Jedi came out, which was disappointing to a lot of Star Wars fans because I don't know how everybody
It's
agrees, but it's a
polarizing.
pretty shitty movie in my opinion. But
Missed
too.
opportunities.
yeah, exactly. But the actress Kelly Marie Tran, who played Rose Tico, hateful personal attacks on her.
See, I don't understand
the way
that.
and the way
I don't
she
get
looked
that.
and she went through terrible ordeal. She went through therapy, and it was like I don't know if people were just frustrated because the movie sucked, but like why they took it out on her.
I feel like that's a different side of it. That's where it gets into politics and stuff like that. And
I guess a
people
little
are
bit because
trying
of
to
her
throw their
race and
politics
stuff.
into things.
I guess, but that's still it's a Star
terrible.
Wars movie. It's like
Yeah.
why it's horrible.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't like the new Star Trek. I don't like all these new shows except Lower Decks, but everything else I'm not a fan of at all.
The last season of Picard better.
The last season of Picard, yeah, but
Yeah.
that's really it.
Yeah.
And everything else, I just, I feel like they missed the whole point of Star Trek. But that's me.
Yes.
That's and I would say the same thing about Doctor Who, the new Doctor Who. I feel like it's just not for me. But
Really?
Oh no, yeah. But
then
like
who-
the most recent Doctor Who.
But then who is it for? It's not Doctor Who. And it's not Star Trek.
I'm
No,
assuming there's got to be
no.
some sort of audience.
It's
I mean,
not.
because show business is a business, and so I'm assuming the bottom line is are people watching the show, and if they're not, they're going to change direction. So there's got to be enough people that are tuning into this particular incarnation of Doctor Who that are keeping this thing afloat. But it's certainly not for me. But I'll say this: I'm not angry. I'm just like, okay, I'm out now. I'm out
Yeah.
for a while. Yeah,
It's disappointing.
Yeah, it's disappointing. That's all. But
Wait, is it still a Time Lord in the box, the little
basically,
police box?
yeah. They've messed with some things, but overall, it's the same concept.
It's the same thing. It's the guy in his police box.
But it's a little more than that.
But it comes to
Larry.
writing
Yeah,
too.
you
I mean,
look at
Is it a
look at-
musical? Is
but
it a
you look at-
musical thing?
Exactly.
Yes,
you look at
they made
Strange
it a
New Worlds.
musical.
Strange New Worlds is Ally McBeal in a Star Trek box.
Oh, that's so good.
Really?
That's
It's
so,
fucking
wow.
throw whatever shit against the wall and has nothing to do with Star Trek.
oh God.
And there were stupid episodes of the original series.
Sure,
Not
yeah,
stupid,
of course.
but
Yeah.
departures.
Well, hey,
There was
guys,
the Western one, the gangster one.
Yeah,
I
right,
like
yeah.
that one.
But
The
if
guy-
you
I
guys-
did too.
if you guys-
These are just about what they're doing. Like, it's a musical now. It's
Right.
a pirate show.
Yeah, exactly.
Now
Just
it's,
like
now
every
it's
little-
aliens. Now it's puppets. They're going to be a puppet episode.
You guys-
They had a radio show episode. That's not Star Trek.
Yeah, if you guys want to be even more angry about Star Trek, watch
Yes.
watch the trailer for Starfleet Academy.
Yeah, I did.
Oh my God! Talk about a show not for us.
That's Dawson's Creek.
Yeah. It looks like Dawson's
Dawson's
Creek.
Creek.
Well,
Well,
and there's dancing and that, and just watch the trailer.
Dawson's Creek is Dawson's Creek, and it's fine for Dawson's Creek.
Right,
It's
right,
not
exactly.
Star Trek.
Yeah, but again,
Star Trek
I'm
is
not
not
going. I'm
Dawson's
not going to
Creek.
terrorize the makers of
Right,
the
yeah,
show.
yeah.
Like
I'm
the
out.
thing is though, no, I don't think any. Even if you're a cog in a wheel, like a writer on some show, a big franchise, no filmmakers or actors or writers, I don't think are of any of this genre stuff are setting out to anger or betray fans. They're doing.
I hope not.
You did
Yeah.
see Last Jedi, right?
Well, yeah. But I mean, they're trying something
He
different.
admits he set out to do
no,
that.
hey, look, I'm
He did.
the first one to
I-
admit that I was furious when I saw that movie. I was like,
Me too.
but it's
Furious?
Yes.
Yep.
it was
Yeah.
terrible. It was
Okay,
god
all
awful.
right.
Offensive.
Okay.
But
I'm sorry.
But so you can vent about it, but it's different from like attacking by personal attacks against
No, I
the
don't
filmmakers
I don't
or
attack anybody. But
Yeah, I don't think
he
these
did,
guys
he did set out to do something subversive.
Well, it's funny. It's funny.
He claims that he wanted to subvert Star Wars, and he did.
I remember
Very poorly.
I saw a clip of Kathleen Kennedy addressing fans and saying that, Rian Johnson got so much hate and he didn't deserve that. And all I'm thinking is, well, I didn't deserve The Last Jedi. Okay.
right.
And here's the other thing. You can do something completely different and still stick with the show. And the great example of that is Andor.
Yes.
Andor
Yes.
is a completely different side of Star Wars.
A serious
it's almost a
adult
different
side.
genre of show.
Yeah,
but it's
still
still
Star Wars.
core
yeah,
Star Wars.
I agree. That's a good
No,
example.
yeah.
Ken,
And I
do you
think
mind?
they tried to do the same thing with Alien Earth, and in my opinion, they failed.
Less successful, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
No, I would say ultimately it's a bad show. But again, I'm not going to send, a letter bomb to,
Yeah.
Noah Hawley or anything like that.
Right.
I mean, it's just that level of engagement and vitriol. I wonder if it's also almost like otaku culture where everyone is so isolated now and live in the screen of their phone that the idea of someone challenging something that they think or like or whatever, they don't know how to handle it. And they just lose their minds. And the only way that they can get any of that out is to go to the internet and be a bully. And that's so sad because at the core of all of this is joy.
Right.
Yeah.
Either a positive look at the future or, Star Wars has a deep moral center, a spiritual center. And so there are a lot of very positive elements to all of this. And you would think that would be the overriding factor of all of this. But no, then for some reason, it all devolves into pettiness. The same thing happens with the MCU and any other franchise I think you could think of.
But I think
That's
also
why this doesn't happen with Miyazaki. Because everything's nice.
You're right. I think you're right.
You don't have that with him at all.
Not yet.
Everybody just likes it.
This insatiable, but there's like an insatiable appetite for this stuff because there's so much now. People want more and more and more. But we always have the originals of whatever one that I think Matt. Remember, I think you had mentioned this before. How when the all-female Ghostbusters movie came out in 2016. Regardless of what you think of the movie, the amount of hate and bullying that the stars and filmmakers of that movie got because sacrilege, how dare you? And I think one of the actresses in the movie said, we didn't burn the original. You can always watch the original. Yeah. Like if this one's not
they're not George Lucas.
Exactly.
Nice.
But it's like there's always the original. They're just trying a different take on it. Fine if you don't like it, but they're not destroying the memory and the
I would argue that female version of Ghostbusters is better than Ghostbusters 2.
Agreed. Sure.
Agreed.
Yeah, but here's the thing with that.
And better than all the other later Ghostbusters sequels too.
Ghostbusters with women was such an easy target because why'd they make it women? Yeah. So that you just attack it based on that.
I know.
It's lazy is what it is.
Absolutely.
There was a demand. There was a demand for Ghostbusters with the original cast, a sequel with the original cast. And when fans didn't get that, they just freaked.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is not what we want. And then it got inflamed more by having the cast be female. So then it's like fuel to the fire.
Yeah. But then they did give you the original cast and it was lame in the later sequels.
But
So
that's also a problem.
Lame.
Yeah. That's also a problem with that because if you're going to go in a new direction that's maybe controversial or maybe very different, you better make it good because otherwise that's not going to happen anymore. Like the Acolyte,
it could destroy the right.
The Acolyte ruined any sort of female-driven show, I think, for Star Wars because I thought it was terrible.
Yeah, we watched the first 20. Exactly. It's just if it's shitty writing and shitty direction and shitty acting, that's what. Yeah, like we couldn't even get through the first episode, and that movie was like review bombed. It had like AI generated negative reviews. It was Leslie Headland, the showrunner, was just attacked. And I mean, if it's a shitty show, it's a shitty show. But yeah, it was the personal attacks to it.
That was before it even premiered.
Yeah, exactly.
The fan community hated that thing going in.
But this is why I watched the whole thing because I wanted to be informed. To see if that's accurate and it's for me it was just a bad show. It was just bad.
Right.
It has nothing to do with who's in it or
And then the backlash also has the potential to be seen as racist or sexist.
Yes, exactly.
Sure. And there are plenty of people on social media who are taking that approach.
Yes.
There are many who are, on one political side or the other, and they're, social media, as we know, is a rabbit hole to begin with, but they're certainly taking advantage of pop culture opinions and following them. And a lot of times you might not even be of that opinion, but if you click on a certain video, then you're like, oh yeah, maybe this guy has a point. And then you click on all these other videos that show up in your YouTube feed. And then before you know it, you're looking for Kathleen Kennedy's house,
Yeah.
Well,
you're like seduced into this.
Yeah. But I wonder how many of those people, those hardcore haters, are even really fans. Because I remember,
I don't think a lot of them are.
Yeah, I think they just see an opportunity to firebomb and
just to keep furthering their thing.
Agenda. Right.
Yeah.
And because I remember, and I think I might have discussed this before, but I remember like going on YouTube and finding something innocent as unboxing a Doctor Who Dalek figure. And it was a video of just the guy taking it out of the box and, oh, look here. It makes the noise. It says exterminate. Oh, it's great. It lights up. And then you see all the comments like, that's cool. I want to get that. How much is that? Oh, I hear it's a little expensive. And then 2 more comments down. It's like, fuck the Jews, and it'd be like,
yeah, you're right. You're right.
Where did this come from?
How did it get there?
Yeah. It's weird.
But that's a firebomber. That's just somebody who wants to.
It's just a guy coming in there and
gasoline.
just throwing gasoline.
Okay, but the sense of entitlement, though, it's like you own this property and it's your right to, like, for example, the final season of Game of Thrones, where there was literally this thing called change.org, where thousands or however many of fans demanded that they remake the entire last season. Were they literally thinking that that's going to happen? Like, oh, okay, you guys, you're right. We'll do another whole season to make
What if
you
they
happy.
had done that?
What the fuck? Like, how deranged are you?
I feel like that's happening with something. I can't remember
what?
it is.
What was the point? Did they really think that they were going to make any headway to make any difference of any kind from that? Like the filmmakers can all shrink down. Oh God, you're right. We better make another. We better redo it with different writers. Like, are you crazy? Like, what is the point of that whole thing? Like, what a waste of effort.
Well, and then seeing the results of that last season and how truncated it was.
Yes,
I think it's pretty obvious that this, not only are they not going to make it again, they didn't want to make the first version.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's get this.
Let's get it over with.
Look, okay, look. Let's go over production 101. Okay, look, all of those
here we go.
actors.
All right.
No, okay,
Class
for the
is in
people who
session.
love Game of Thrones. Remember, this is not like Seinfeld, where as each year of the season, they were able to get more and more money because they were able to charge because everyone was watching it. This is HBO. They run under. It's a different way of doing stuff. Okay. Sure. All of those actors had been with the show for a certain length of time. They're all going to be getting tons of money. That's by contract. It was going to be so freaking expensive. Look, I was one of the fans of Game of Thrones who I didn't mind it. There's a great line.
Last season?
Yeah. There's actually a great line that Tyrion says when he says that everyone was upset about what they decided to do with Jon Snow. And he says, because everyone's upset about it, perhaps it makes it a great compromise because nobody's happy. And in a way, that kind of summed up that whole last season for me. Like, look,
nobody's happy.
No, well, but it's like, it's the story. I mean, you get to see where everybody goes.
Of course, Larry, the anticipation obviously was insanely. The anticipation was insanely high for the last season. I'm talking about the fantasy world that these fans were living in, thinking that they could influence the filmmakers of this multi-million-dollar franchise to somehow redo a season of a show. Like, that makes no sense.
But on one hand, Sean, as a producer, you're saying if they're pissed, if people are this upset, look at how many people are active about this. Is good. This people are responding to the product that you made. That's great. That it's
well, sure, there was a definite love and a definite following of that show. Sure, of course.
And look, let's face it, that fueled the whole next thing of the House of the Dragon.
Sure, yeah.
Now, so, but I do remember, Sean, just that fervor, that anger, that anguish of people who are pissed off. And I remember seeing that, the emails that and this the change.org, and I'm like, oh yeah. I was laughing. I remember,
let's do this, people. We can do it.
I was talking to my wife about it. I go, okay, this is ridiculous. Okay, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah,
no one's
yeah.
gonna go like
I-
you said.
I understand.
let's just redo that season.
Yeah.
If only George R.R. Martin could have written faster. That would have
Right,
solved the
right.
whole
Yeah, no,
problem.
it is quite clear that the books ran out.
Yeah.
And then that one episode where it was the big battle in complete darkness.
Yeah.
And then the director
That's kind of a
defended
trend
it.
lately overall. Like a lot of
Yeah,
movies I'm
it's
going to
st-
see, they're really dark. And I don't know what.
Yeah.
And don't get me started on the whisper thing, because
Yeah, whispering and,
whisper acting.
mumbling, whispering and mumbling.
Mm.
We're often saying, "What do you say?" Like with the
Well, that's
subtitles.
Romulus.
But isn't it
Romulus, I
interesting-
couldn't understand a word.
But isn't it interesting, guys? Look, for classic Star Trek, or for James, maybe it's, I don't know, Speed Racer or something, but not every episode you like. Yeah, there
Yeah,
are
of
those
course.
episodes that, I hated that episode. Okay, so that last season that had the darkness and had the mumbling, and maybe that wasn't really your favorite, but still there are elements of it that you just love, and you love watching it over and over again.
but the whole thing just felt rushed and just
Anticlimactic.
clumsy.
And they spent lots of time on it
anticlimactic.
too.
Yeah.
There's a huge break between seasons, and it's still.
No,
Yeah.
you had a dragon that was a White Walker, and you had Jon Snow there with a sword, and I was thinking, oh, this is great because he's going to be the one to slay the dragon. Oh, this is awesome. Nothing, not a zip. I don't even remember how the dragon died.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you, or it's going to be a spoiler alert?
You remember?
It's
Yes,
long
of
gone.
course.
Your memory is good.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about Game of Thrones. I'm gonna
Briefly.
give a spoiler. Just
Yeah,
want to let
very
you know, 'cause
briefly.
I got in trouble once before.
Okay, yes,
Fast
we
forward
got
to
it.
33 to
Yeah, it's
22
20
if you
years
don't
old now.
get
You
it.
can talk about. Go ahead.
Okay. So the king comes in to kill the kid in the wheelchair, and Arya comes out and she has the knife. She's gonna kill him. He grabs her by the neck. She drops the knife. He gets another hand, stabs him. Once he's killed,
Oh, that's right.
Ah, that's
kills
it.
By
That's
proxy,
it.
the other
Right.
guy.
and it was
Right.
great. It was such a
No,
great.
it
cop
was
out.
It was
not.
anticlimactic.
It was the fucking worst.
Not
piece
seeing
of
the dragon
television
slain
I have
by-
seen.
You're very toxic right now.
Talk about. Yeah. Talk
And I'm
about
coming over.
ripoff.
But my point is that that's the moment that killed the dragon. And yes,
And the
yes,
series.
James, I know you would have loved to have seen Jon Snow go "Ah!" and throw the sword.
Exactly. I want to see him go. "Rah!"
Instead of a little girl who
No,
jumps out of a tree.
No, she wasn't a little, just a little girl. She went through a lot. She was a warrior.
I
And
know,
she was
and I like her
badass.
character, but
And-
the
and
way
it
that
was
they
so-
they
no,
did
no,
that,
no,
that it was
no,
just
no.
like, no, what are you saying no for?
It was
This is
so
not the internet.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute, it is
Toxic
the internet.
fandom.
I'm just sending you an email right now. I'm really pissed.
Toxic fandom.
But I
Ladies
did
and
like
gentlemen,
that
it's
character.
happening right now.
I did.
on our
I
show.
did. Like, I like that character a lot. I just felt like
You
everybody
don't like that character.
was given. Everybody was shortchanged on their dramatic moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's hard. I mean,
No.
yeah.
No.
I have 3 examples of 3 shows that, well, not shows, movies and shows, completely inexplicable. Same people, first season, second season, first movie, second movie. First was great. Second was horrible.
Okay.
Westworld.
Mhm.
First season, amazing.
Oh,
Second season,
The TV
the
series.
TV
yes.
series.
Second season.
I would argue
much
that, well, the
unwatchable.
first season was, I wouldn't say it was fantastic, but it was
loved
I
it.
interesting.
did like
it was
it.
intriguing.
I did like it.
But
Yes.
I got bored really quick, though, from that show.
All right. But anyway, another one is Wonder Woman. The
Oh, yeah.
first movie.
Oh,
was
yeah.
great.
Perfect
Oh,
example.
yeah,
Yeah.
right,
Second movie.
Second was like, what the fuck happened? I
And
know.
now I
There's
forgot my
some
third
fun
example.
elements in it.
Oh,
you know, there's some
Larry,
fun.
Jesus
But-
Christ.
No,
it
I'm just
sucked.
but-
It
Sean,
100%.
Oh, I know what it was.
sucked.
Last of Us. Last of Us season 1. Everybody loved.
I haven't seen
and
that show.
this is the same thing with the game. The first game everybody loved. The second game everybody hated. And it's all the same people. And people hated the second game. And they hated the second season for different reasons too. Because the second season is not exactly like the game. It just sort of peters out badly. So I don't understand that phenomenon where they continue a series and just completely destroy it in a way I can't even explain.
I think sometimes it's a little bit of like just lucky alchemy. I mean, the first Wonder Woman, it just kind of clicked. All the elements were there. It was a new director, and then she came back to direct the next one, but maybe they had a lot more fingers in the pie, and you're like, make sure you do this.
Yeah.
But I can't.
Yes.
I really, that one especially, I don't see how anyone looking when they were making it, like saying, wait a minute, guys,
It's crazy.
this is not good in every element from writing, directing, acting, concept. Like what? Yeah, I agree with you in that. Like, I don't know, because especially because the first one was just such a breath of fresh air. You know, it was like, wow, they brought Wonder Woman to the big screen in a great way.
Yeah.
And it's like, God, yeah, I know, I agree. That's
And I think that also
inexplicable.
goes to subjective versus objective criticism, because objectively, the first season is good, the first movie is good, and the second movie is bad. It's not anybody putting anything onto it.
Right, yeah.
And I think it was
I'm-
universally panned too. It wasn't like it was. There were two warring camps of the people that loved it.
I've heard
to
from
get Patty Jenkins on the show.
Yeah,
so we
well,
can talk
I've
about
heard
it.
from a good
I'm
source.
very curious because it's crazy.
Yeah, I've heard from
how
a good
different.
source too that Patty Jenkins is actually paid by Marvel or Disney to not badmouth the second film. Like she was actually given an
Interesting.
extra paycheck just to look. Just
That's not Disney.
yeah,
Warner's.
Warner's,
Yeah.
by Warner's to like just don't badmouth it. Just let it go.
But getting back to Sean's point about how people feel, it's like you find something that you love and you identify it, and it's like, it's mine. You know, they speak to me, and you just identify with it, or you lash on to it. And I'm sure
You can
there's
make it your
some-
personality in some ways too.
Well, maybe, yeah,
Some
maybe.
identity.
Oh, yeah.
And then so
Identity,
when there's that next season or that next film or whatever, and if it doesn't totally agree with the way you think things should go, I can understand how people could get really upset. I guess what we should try to do is just try to let that go and just try to think of yourself as going back to as 12 years old, and you eat your popcorn while you watch it and let the art flow all over you. Maybe it won't be as bad as you think it is.
Well, I don't want to criticize you, Larry, but it is kind of interesting you saying that coming from the man who is still angry about the plastic King Kong from the party that he didn't.
Yeah,
get.
talk about not letting go of things.
Do you know what's really weird and sad? My wife and I drove by the house where the party was not too long ago. And I said,
Christ.
you know what? There's the house, honey. And she goes, oh, is that your friend? I go, yes, with the birthday party with the King Kong. And she goes, did you ever get? Yes. I said, yes, I did. Yes. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Did you knock on the door? Did you?
Do you send him an angry letter?
No, look. Okay, for listeners, I'm not going to go into the story, but
No,
again,
thank you.
because as Sean
Yeah.
says, we know
He was
the
at a
story,
kid's party. There was a game there where you could get a plastic King Kong. He wanted it, but he didn't get it because they didn't have enough for
Yes,
everybody.
They only had
And so
8.
he learned the lesson of like sometimes you don't win.
Yeah, sometimes you lose. Yes.
Yeah, sometimes
It
you
was-
lose.
And he hasn't held a grudge at all about it.
No, but that's also why also being able to let go of the disappointment that you feel with a movie is kind of the same thing, because it is a life lesson. Nothing is certain in this world. And so, the next one could suck. And
Right.
And I think for older Star Wars fans, I think we're sort of the first generation of this, where Star Wars, Empire, Jedi.
Yeah, right.
So that's kind of the not great one.
Right.
Then he went in with the special editions,
Mhm.
and that made us like, well, you can't change that. What are you doing?
Right.
And then we had the prequels.
Mhm.
Right.
And I think that sequence of events made our generation very resistant to change and reimaginings and all that.
Yeah, and I
stuff.
think it made us cynical. It gave us
Yes,
much like there
absolutely.
is no Santa Claus anymore. Like,
Yes.
because we've talked about this before, how when we were growing up, there was a certain period where movies like Star Wars, Jaws, Raiders, you just went into a movie with this kind of naive reverence, and guess what? The movie was fucking
We were
fantastic.
satisfied.
Like,
yeah.
and it happened again, and then again, and then
we got spoiled.
Yeah.
If it sucked, it sucked. That was it. Okay, it sucks.
Right.
It's
You walked away.
disappointing. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like a cause for a furor and
Right.
torches
Right.
down the village.
right.
And there were
You know,
also
something-
less franchises. It was
That's
like,
true.
Yes, but also they can
and
make.
shorter franchises.
And with technology today, especially genre films, whether it's superhero movies or sci-fi or monsters, like you can make everything so realistic and so it's just astounding to look at effects wise. So you can do anything now. So I think also younger generation filmmakers and genre fans are used to that. Like everything looking amazing and it's completely believable, which we did not have when we were growing up. We looked past like this kind of chintzy effect sometimes with the low budgets and still appreciate that.
Shaking his fist at the blimp.
Yeah.
And sometimes even liked it because of that, because there is a charm.
There's a charm to it.
Yeah.
As long as it had a story and a script. I mean, that was what was important. It still is.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And the sincerity and kind of just the effort in a way. And just like that's it. So that's something I think too, which God, again, I don't think genre fans realize how good they have it right now.
One thing that amazed me recently is that James Gunn Superman came out and I enjoyed it, but I was curious about the box office for the second weekend. So I went on YouTube and there were all these YouTube videos that were saying that it bombed miserably.
Yeah.
That it lost all this money and it was a huge disaster. And then I saw, one report that said, no, it was the #1 movie. So I was like, well, what are all these other YouTube videos? Well, I found out there's a thing called the Snyder Bros.
Yes.
Which I was not aware of.
What's that?
I was going to bring that up. Yeah.
These
Snyder fans.
These are rabid Zack Snyder fans that are so into not only his superhero movies, but I'm assuming all his other work like 300.
Right.
And they've just decided, I don't even know if it's that they love his movies that much. They've just decided to take it up as a cause.
And it went after the new Superman movie before it even came out. They just could not accept the fact that somebody was going to do a different kind of Superman film.
And having watched a lot of these videos, I will say a lot of it's political.
Yes.
It's a political approach to the movies.
Yeah, which is really
they are taking their politics and embracing Zack Snyder because it reflects their politics.
In a way that Zack Snyder himself does not embrace.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
exactly. Yeah, he himself has gone on record saying, I'm not associated with these assholes.
Yeah.
And that's the part that always surprises me, that when the guy who made the show or the movie tells you what it's about and you don't believe him.
Right.
That's so
that goes back to George Lucas again.
Yeah.
I like Snyder's work. I do. And look, I did like
some of it.
Okay.
Well, yeah, me too.
But it's, I love that new Superman.
Me too.
It. And I took my daughter to see it. We talked about this on our Superman episode. And my daughter, who really wasn't a big superhero fan, loved it. And she said, Dad, that was a lot of fun.
My wife and I just watched it recently on streaming because it was available on HBO, and I loved it even more. Like it's God forbid you have a positive, fun,
like it's positive
movie.
The James Gunn Superman humanized Superman, whereas the Zack Snyder is more of a harsh.
He's this god that
it's a little colder though. His whole universe is,
and that was neat. That was neat. But I found this new one just really refreshing. And
why can't you have both?
It made me think back. It made me think back to the Christopher Reeve one. Okay, I hadn't then seen the dog, and then the cousin, Supergirl at the end, and then all the other superheroes. It was great. It was so talk about a fun, uplifting film.
Yeah,
it made me happy.
Yeah,
and then the Brandon Routh one is sort of in between.
Yeah. But what's interesting is, you know what? He didn't have the case with like the Snyder Bros and all that against the James Gunn movie. What's interesting is that the same kind of thing did not take place when Burton's Batman came out, and you had all the rabid fans of the campy 60s Batman up in arms saying this is not our Batman.
There was a lot of reaction to the darkness of it.
Yeah, but it wasn't that kind of vitriol that you got.
No, but
it wasn't quite as angry.
No. We
didn't have the internet. We didn't have social media.
I remember going to a convention, Sean, back in '89, and I remember the studio was so nervous.
Sure,
and they were doing, they had a studio guy, and he was there to show pictures, and what they were showing pictures of in clips was the car. Remember, everyone loved the car.
Because Michael Keaton was the big controversy.
Yeah, exactly. It was Keaton. And I remember thinking to myself, Michael Keaton? That seems odd. But the car was really cool. And I think Jack Nicholson was a good choice. So what they did is they were showing this stuff to get me excited to go see that film. And I remember once the film came out, and I know we have our issues with it, but it seemed that once the film came out, the whole thing about the Adam West thing was gone.
Yeah.
it vanished.
Yeah.
It was like, ooh, because now they're spending a lot of money and that car is so cool.
And they're just two different things. Like I said, you can have both.
they totally different.
Especially
things.
something like Batman or Superman, because it's an iconic figure, but you can interpret him in so many different ways and so many different colors, and just do whatever you want with it.
Yep.
And then you had Batman and Robin.
Right.
Well,
right.
yeah,
You
it's
had to
like,
go through
they were on their way back to.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. This is weird.
Here's something that I have noticed, and this is a positive thing when it comes to toxic fandom.
Oh,
And-
great.
No, stick with me because this is going to be a long speech. Now,
No. Is that a whiteboard?
Wouldn't you agree that most of this toxic fandom revolves around the science fiction, fantasy, superhero world? You don't get as much of it in horror. Now, you'll get people who
I get
like
toxic
or
about
dislike
horror.
a movie. You do, right? But I mean, I don't see as much of these camps. And especially like
Yeah.
when we go to Monsterpalooza every year, it just seems like these people are way friendlier and well adjusted. And I wonder if
Yes.
it's something to do
You're
with
right.
the subject matter of
It's like metal
having-
fans. It's the same thing.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you're right. I think
It's they're getting it out of their system, I think.
It's
All
funny.
right, it's cathartic.
You
Yeah.
say that, Matt. It's like when I would ask people, so what is your favorite horror film? Oh, I love the Terrifier series. I'm like, oh, wow.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
No, that's maybe
But
there's
but
something.
and they're the
that's fine
nicest
for them.
people in the world.
Yeah.
I think it's a release. And so you don't have to run to the internet and go crazy. You can watch something and maybe get some of this out of your system. I don't know.
Right.
That's a good point.
Therapeutic.
It's true. Come to think of it, I can't think of a single case where there's toxic fandom in horror or monster movies, really.
I mean, I think like when Rob Zombie remade Halloween, with some of the big remakes, maybe you get people who are like, why bother? Why did you bother remake? But it's not.
Yeah.
You're right. I don't think it's the kind
It
of,
wasn't
like,
really
attacks.
vitriol, though. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you've never heard someone freak out because one of the Jason movies wasn't right. Like they either like it or they don't, but they don't get.
Those movies are so silly anyway.
Yeah,
that
it's just like, well, okay, we saw that one. Now let's go on to the next one.
Well,
The
bar
hockey
of
mask isn't right.
expectations-
What's
the
that, James?
expectations already lower.
Yeah.
That's an opinion,
Right.
but yeah,
You've all
I
seen Weapons, I assume.
have not.
Yes.
Oh my God.
No, I've not yet.
But
Please.
we can't.
I know
Please
we're
go
gonna.
see Weapons. I'm not
There's
going to
nothing
spoil
we need-
anything.
There's
Yeah,
nothing.
And in fact, avoid. I don't know if you can avoid
I
it
know
anymore,
when
but-
it hits streaming, we'll do it. So just no
Oh,
spoilers.
you got to see it.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things.
Well, I'm here to say not good things, but we'll save
Of
that
course
for
you
when
are.
we talk
Of
about
course.
it.
Are you
course.
serious?
James,
Yeah, I'm
James,
very
that's
serious.
James. That's
James,
why you're
armchair
here.
critic, Gonis.
I'm curious. All our collective opinions, and I'm curious to. I look forward to sharing them, but I was not a fan.
What about The Long Walk?
Haven't seen it yet.
I've not seen
Okay.
that either.
Very Stephen King.
Yeah.
Well, then I
I
think
felt like it
James is
nailed
gonna James is gonna love it.
Yeah, I think you will.
No, the trailer looked like it nailed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool.
Slight changes, but it doesn't matter.
Is there
All right.
toxicity out with Stephen King stuff? I mean, it's
a good question.
because I will say this: James is our token brilliant guy on Stephen King. He knows
Don't kiss
everything.
his ass.
You're very
Just-
kind, Larry.
But
Thank
it's
you.
like there are these films that it's Stephen King. Oh, it just really sucked. It just
Well,
just-
James, I
a lot
think
of them.
James, I think you agree. There are a lot of shitty movie adaptations of Stephen King.
Only the ones
Yeah.
Stephen King directed.
And I don't
Wasn't
see a
that
lot
one?
of Annie
Just
Wilkes. Annie Wilkes is
one.
on the internet. So yeah, I think Stephen King readers are just so used to the whole gamut of quality of adaptations that we're,
Mhm.
pretty much if something's decent, then we're happy, but we don't we
Mhm.
tend to expect too much by and large.
Yeah, it's
Wow,
sort of
usually never
started
someone-
out that
someone
way.
Someone could say that about the Alien franchise.
Oh,
Yes.
interesting.
Never mind.
Ken, it's funny that James he reads all those books. For me,
You're a reader.
He's a reader.
Well, not all of them.
I'm like a visual guy.
I've read
When
most
the
of Stephen
film
King.
Christine came out, I went to see it, and
Yeah.
people said, "Oh, it didn't really follow the book." Well, I liked it.
I
The book is
auditioned
10
for it.
times better than that movie. The movie's not horrible, but the book is...
Lawnmower Man. Hey, I thought it was kind of neat.
Wow, there's a real weird attitude.
Silver Bullet.
Silver.
Uh-huh.
Hey, I thought
bad,
that
yeah.
was kind of neat.
There's some
Look,
bad ones.
I think if you didn't read the material, you probably enjoy it much more than if you read it. Yeah, I mean,
The monkey, excuse me?
Oh my God.
Oh.
Piece of shit.
Mm.
One thing I can recommend, though, The Langoliers. No one was a big fan of the book or the TV miniseries, but and James, you might be aware of this, but the audiobook read by Willem Dafoe,
Really?
playing every part, including female parts, is fucking beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
wow.
going to seek that out.
Yes.
Wow,
It's
interesting.
a really good time. Good night.
Okay, guys, so here's a question for you. As we're talking about us growing up, there wasn't really the kind of toxic atmosphere that you see now with a lot of fandom. So back in 1968, 69, Star Trek, the original series, was in its second season, and then it was canceled. And there was a letter writing campaign by fans of the show. I mean, the show never really was like a huge, giant ratings winner, but it did okay. But by the end of the second season, it wasn't doing well enough. So it was NBC, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
NBC canceled it.
And they moved it to a different time slot too, right?
I think so,
Yes,
yeah.
they did.
But there was a solid fan base for the show back then. And fans wrote letters to Desilu, I guess, in Paramount, and they demanding that the show come back.
It was to NBC.
It's
It was
NBC. Okay,
'cause
so
NBC was the ones who canceled it. They said,
Okay.
Right.
we're
Yeah.
not getting enough viewers.
and they were kind of bombarded. I guess it's one of the first times we saw
Yeah.
that for a show, of all things, this science fiction show that kind of did middling in the ratings. And to the point where they actually did a third season of the show. But
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if the fans back then had the internet and had social media like today, would it have been considered a kind of toxic fandom? Would it have been kind of a bullying by fans to get a show back? I mean, they were doing it for the love of the show. They're basically demanding it comes back. But how different would it have been if that was today and with the tools you have now to complain about bringing a show back?
They had the benefit of being the first, actually. And the other thing, too, is if you were a network executive, the one thing that did, Sean, is for you to write a letter takes
Right.
time and
Sure.
energy to put the stamp, to put
It's more
this is-
personal.
and
Yeah.
so there are people who get upset and go, "Oh, I got to write a letter." But for the people who actually did it, and it took NBC by surprise,
Mhm.
and it made them think, shoot, maybe we're missing something. Maybe there's, with the Nielsen's, there's something that we're missing because we got this huge response. And let's face it, it was organized. There were a bunch of people
Mhm.
who got a lot of fans together to get other people to write these letters. But to NBC, they didn't know any better. Because it was the first, you could never replicate that, I think. And a good
Yeah.
example would be, the Game of Thrones.
And
which
I'm
as
saying
much-
it's somewhat similar, but
No, it's
But more
totally-
insane.
It's
But-
easier to
well,
send
but-
off an email or get
But
it
back,
on.
Right,
but back
right,
then,
right,
but
right.
the point is, like, these fans, they actually thought, wow, we could get this TV network to make another season of a show that was already canceled. That's maybe at the time seemed a little unrealistic, but it actually worked.
Well, it's
I feel like they were
empowering,
less
too.
less savvy too back then. Like, they didn't know what went into making a show, and
Mhm.
that it could be done, or that you could write a letter campaign or any of that. So, and they were also more polite back then.
That's what I was thinking
There's-
too. That maybe those
They were like,
letters were a
"Please
little
bring
nicer.
back this
And,
show."
and let's face it, Sean, they
Respect
weren't
and
saying-
reverence.
They
Yes.
weren't saying that they weren't saying, that.
How dare you.
We
or
know
that-
where you live.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
coming after
that-
you. Yeah.
Or that intruder episode should never exist. I want you to redo that one, or
Yeah.
redo season 2.
Do
They
not
it was-
redo Turnabout
it-
Intruder.
It was
Perfect.
It was
Yes.
really that the show had ended. They said, we're not going to do anymore. And they thought maybe we missed something, we'll give it another season. We'll see if it's got some legs. And then they changed the time again, which is really what killed it.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And the third season, it definitely had hit or misses as far as the quality episodes, but it was great that to me, that's still quite an achievement to me. And historically that happened, especially since that show and the franchise in Star Trek has become such an iconic, huge franchise. One of the first really fan driven franchises in a way, and that was when the conventions, started.
When it became syndicated.
Yes,
really when all of that exploded.
I also wonder if it had been allowed to continue, if it would have started to go bad, possibly.
Jump the shark.
Yeah,
kind of did.
Well, yeah, it did.
It was on its way.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they had
and although I have to say, I did write a letter to NBC asking for them to bring back velour, because that really pissed me off. In the third season, it's polyester. It's not velour.
Oh yeah, it did change it. You're right. Yeah.
I thought you said velour.
The lore of Star Trek.
I will say this for you guys. Did you guys see the original series when it was first released, or did you see it in the rerun?
I saw it in syndication.
Yeah,
so I
I'm pretty sure it was
see it.
syndication
for me.
Yeah, I
but
didn't see it.
but when we had talked a bit about the toxic fandom, do you guys remember? Because I had gone to Star Trek conventions, and then after Star Wars, there was this split. I remember there was this big controversy about people dressing up like Klingons going to a Star Wars convention.
Yes.
Or vice versa.
Or someone wearing
a stormtrooper coming to a.
And do you remember this? There was this, and I remember thinking, guys, I love both.
Yeah, exactly. I never understood
this thing with the Star Trek fans.
They're completely different.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's like Star Wars is not real. It's fantasy, and the Star Wars fans.
Exactly.
Boring.
Yes, it is fantasy.
But they both have the word star in it, though.
I got to go to the last Star Wars celebration in Tokyo, and there was a guy walking around with a sign that said, "Star Trek is better." And I passed by him, and I go, "You're very brave." And then and another guy walking by said, "Yeah, and also very stupid."
But see, the funny thing is probably the guy probably wouldn't get beat up or anything. Because
not in Japan.
It's in Japan.
Well,
I laughed. I laughed.
I think both can be embraced.
Of course,
I think
absolutely
both, which is what
they're so different.
Yes, and I can enjoy both.
I never understood that versus thing.
But
even within Star Trek, there was Trekkie versus Trekker.
It was like no.
Trekkie versus Trekker.
Yes.
Like what was that? Was that like you're a serious fan of
Trekkies were somehow not as engaged or something, or
I have no idea.
Yeah,
it was silly.
But
was
also
there Buck Rogers versus Battlestar Galactica? Was that a thing?
I don't know. Not really.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I remember too when Battlestar Galactica. Look, let's face it. After Star Wars, you wanted anything with space,
of course,
on television or in the movies. And when Battlestar Galactica came out on TV, I was so excited. I loved it. And yes, the episodes got worse and worse as it went.
Pretty amazing. At least that pilot is pretty amazing.
It's
for
pretty
a thing that was made for television.
Yes, it was a spectacle. And so much money spent. Yeah,
I had all the Battlestar Galactica toys, even the ones that shot the missiles before they changed those.
Nice.
But it was like there was also this thing. Oh, they're just ripping off Star Wars, and to me, I'm like, guys, it's more space stuff. Isn't that cool?
Actually, and speaking of Galactica, I also remember before the new Galactica came out, people were complaining, "What, Starbuck is a girl?" And there's all these sex scenes, like
a woman,
stupid
Sean.
Stuff. Like what?
A woman,
not a girl.
But it was like, so there was a backlash already about that, and of course, it turned out to be a great show. But like, that's a good example of like a reinvention of a show that really took it in a great direction by not. I mean, let's face it.
And they took all the elements from the original.
They did, but they made it a more adult,
much,
more
totally
multi-layered show. Because the first Galactica obviously would not exist if it wasn't for Star Wars. Right. That was a reaction to Star Wars. But the new Galactica was interesting because to really take a sophisticated show, and make it something just multi-layered and really layered characterizations from a show that was really a pretty simple space battle show, which was fine. I like both,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know.
And
But
there were
that
some, the occasional kind of heady episodes here and there.
Yeah.
I mean,
but-
for
but-
Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Talking about the late 70s, I was just reminded of one of the first instances I think I experienced of toxic fandom, and it was a real thing back then. In my high school, there were kids who would come up to me and go, rock or disco? And this happened several times. And usually it was kids who were obviously on the rock side, and they were sort of challenging me. Like if I didn't say rock, they were going to think I was a nerd or just look,
a wuss. Yeah.
So they wouldn't beat you up, is what you're saying.
Right. I guess to my credit, I pleaded the fifth and I said, I don't really have an opinion. I don't listen to radio, whatever. I don't know. You know what I told them? I told them I listened to soundtracks. That's what I told them.
harpsichord music.
No, I told them I listened to soundtracks. That was my out, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But come to think of it, I mean, I've seen documentaries on the 70s since then, like on CNN, and the backlash against disco was huge.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
It was.
I hated it. I was in that camp.
But it was so vitriolic, and there was some hint that there might have been some racism involved in that and some homophobia involed in that movement.
No, well, not for me.
Right. Yeah, I'm not saying you, but
I didn't like the pants and the music.
Because you didn't have a pair of Angel Flights, sir.
No, I didn't.
You might feel
I couldn't wear them. Larry, you could pull that off, not me.
I had a great ass, sir.
You know what? I've seen it. I've seen the pictures.
Look,
he did,
boy.
ladies and gentlemen.
You know, the one thing, before we shit all
Talk
over
about
disco,
toxic.
No, I'm just saying before we shit all over disco, that's when you got close to the ladies. I thought it was a real ladies thing. And I
definitely had its day.
And Sean, there was disco in Buck Rogers, and I know how much
I know.
Buck Rogers.
Oh,
Don't
God.
give me this thing.
But it's the kitsch factor of it that is what I like.
Yeah.
Remember the moment? It's cold getting down.
Yeah, no, that was a big. There was
be groovy. Come
on. Oh, please stop. Please stop.
Oh, God.
Hey, Ken, do you remember this? Do you remember within punk rock or alternative music of that time, for a while, there was some sort of weird feud, and I don't know why or how it started, between Black Flag and Adam Ant. Do you remember this?
Yeah. Well,
I love that, man. What was that?
Black
I love
Flag
both.
kills Ants dead.
Very different.
A lot of t-shirts.
Yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
But I think that was just also probably a homophobic thing, because New Romantic was very, extravagant.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
I thought it had to
fancy.
do with Adam Ant he was MTV. And that's like selling out in a way. That's being more in the public eye.
Why him, though?
Rebellion.
Exactly.
Strange.
Because he also, I think he used anarchy in some ways, and I think they reacted to that. And I don't remember what it was, but there was some kind of he was sort of playing punk, they thought.
That band was, for the most part, kind of created by Malcolm McLaren.
Right. Yeah.
And he was much more punkish in the beginning too. His music,
I guess.
I love that, man.
If you think about the history of music, pop and rock music, there was a lot of toxic fandom. Going back to the Beatles versus Elvis, or Dylan going
electric.
Rock.
Yes.
Yeah, Dylan going electric.
Mods and rockers.
Yeah.
True.
Quadrophenia.
But still
fighting about things forever.
But still, there was disco in Buck Rogers. That's basically what I wanted to say.
On that we can all agree.
Yeah, and that we can all agree. And
there was disco and Buck Rogers.
I saw it in the theater. I let that scene go.
I saw it in the theater too.
Yeah, and I didn't write anyone a letter. I didn't show up at anyone's house.
What was the deal with that movie? Was it cut together from episodes? Was it?
Well, no, it was the
pilot.
It was made as a pilot, I think, and I think Glenn A. Larson decided to release it theatrically. So it was a movie, and then when they became a series, they simply slightly re-edited the movie to be like a two-parter or a 2-hour episode, whatever, of the Buck Rogers pilot, and then they did regular episodes.
I saw it at a drive-in, at a double feature with The Deer Hunter.
Oh my
Are you
God.
kidding me?
my
Nope.
Wow.
They were both
What a
Universal.
double-
They were both
Duh.
Universal, so I guess they were sold, and they ended up on the same bill. I guess they figured the kids
Wow.
would fall asleep after a while.
Okay, that makes
Yeah.
no sense.
Beady, beady,
Was it-
beady.
which-
It's
what was the
Russian roulette,
order?
Buck.
Was it bad?
Please tell me
Yeah.
to show Buck Rogers first, James.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
Foxy's
That's
played
crazy.
Russian roulette.
Yeah. Wow.
What was the order? Did they show Galactica first?
Buck Rogers
Buck
first.
Rogers first.
I mean, Buck
Yeah.
Rogers first.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
they
I
have
thought,
to.
I thought
Yeah.
you said Galactica.
Oh,
Sorry,
no, Buck
I was
Rogers.
talking about Galactica with the movie.
That was released in theaters too.
Yeah,
true.
that's what I,
And-
that's what I
and
meant.
And Galactica, when they released it in theaters, had the different ending where Baltar is executed.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's right.
Not only
Ah.
that, it was released in Sensurround.
Yes.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
Buck Rogers?
That was the other
No,
Sense
no,
Run movie.
no, okay.
No, Galactica was though.
Here's something. I do
All right.
remember there was not only toxic fandom with the movies, there was also toxic fandom with the toys. And I'll explain.
Of which
When the
toys?
When the Star Wars figures came out, if you notice, they have little eyes painted on their faces.
Right.
The Battlestar Galactica figures do not.
True.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
some people thought, although the Battlestar Galactica figures were more articulated or they had more detail than the Star
Mm.
Wars, because they didn't have that little pupil, it made them, you didn't want them as bad.
Desirable, really?
Yes,
Wow.
exactly. And then the Buck Rogers figures came out and they thought, look, that was by Mego, and they
Right.
made them more articulated, and they
Right.
did put little eyeballs, little pupils. Do you remember that? To try
I
to
do.
compete with the Star Wars figures.
Huh.
But
Okay.
But was it toxic though? Because
Yeah, I mean,
well,
was
in
there,
were several
were there
people
death
killed over
threats?
See, look,
If you swallowed it, it would be
in-
toxic.
in my world of toys, when I was a kid and I went to Toys R Us and there were other kids, and I went to go to the Battlestar Galactica figures, and they would say, those are dumb. I'm like, no, I think these are cool. What do you know? And
did that really happen?
yeah, it did. It did happen.
Wow.
Wow. And also, I was a little older, and that a kid who said, they
Oh,
were
right.
dumb
Yeah,
was younger. And
They're 4 and you're
You're a
17.
teen.
No, he wasn't.
Their toys can't even see.
He wasn't 4. No, he wasn't 4. But to me, you guys know me. I was the completest. I liked having the Star Wars figures and the Battlestar Galactica
Is
figures
that what you
and the
like,
Buck
really?
Rogers. I had all of them, Ken.
I'm shocked.
But I never mixed them. I never mixed them up. They all were in their own areas. Like
Oh, okay.
Buck Rogers
Yeah.
stayed in his
Okay.
area.
No
Yeah,
mashups.
Galactica
don't
were
mix
in
them,
their-
man.
No,
Yeah.
no, I
No,
did
Because
no
that's a
shared,
bad
no shared
scene.
universe.
Segregation for
No,
toys.
they never share the same universe.
Wait,
And
wait,
that's
okay. I'm glad that you brought up toys because talk about toxic fandom, toxic collectors. And we were talking a little bit about this with August Rigoni
Hmm.
and how collecting can get very toxic and people can go
Oh.
to great lengths to complete their collection, can steal and also get into this place. And I've seen Larry, you got to admit, you've been there a little bit where you're mad at Kirk Hammett because
yes.
he bought something that you probably couldn't afford anyway.
Well, I
And-
could afford it. He just spent more
No,
money
but
than me.
by him winning it, you couldn't afford it.
He
Right.
outbid you. He outbid you, right?
Outbid you.
Yeah, you
That's how
didn't
that
bid high
works,
enough.
So
Larry.
you're saying that my hatred towards him is not justified.
It's toxic.
It's competitive.
No, it's
Why,
nuts.
why should he receive that hate from you? He's just buying something. He's taking part in an auction. And what if you had won it and he really wanted it and you had more money
And
than
has
him?
no idea that you're involved at all.
Has no idea.
Oh, you mean if I had won it and he lost, and I
Yeah.
could go laugh and I could laugh and I could bring it,
And you
to
would
my-
like that.
Because I'm
I-
sure that's what he did. He went
Well,
and laughed and went,
look,
I beat him.
I'm sure he's a lovely man. I'm sure he's a lovely man.
He is a lovely
And-
man.
Yes.
Speaking of August and having conversations with people who are involved in the Godzilla fan community, and we're
Yeah.
talking about like established people. Last time Matt and I went to G-Fest in Chicago years ago, I mean, it was a love fest. There were families, there were kids, it was wonderful, and you'd never know. But there is kind of an underbelly to it where it can get a little bit competitive and a little bit there are some people who are sometimes invited and some who are not. And the reasons can be mysterious, but they can lead to hurt feelings and they can lead to fractured relationships. And it's like, this is the Godzilla fan community. What are you talking about? We're all supposed to be one family, you know? But nope. It even intervenes there in ways that are quite mysterious. But yeah.
But you all agree that the Matthew Broderick one was garbage.
On that, we can all agree. But
Yes.
I've seen, you know, kids now putting up YouTube videos rating all the Godzilla movies, and they actually rate that one as not all that bad because
it's like the Phantom Menace.
It's the Tylenol
factor. It's the Phantom Menace factor, though. But people who grew up, you know, at Phantom Menace at the right time, you know, like that movie. Same thing with that Godzilla film, I think.
Or
But you wonder if they'll outgrow it. Like, you know, a lot of kids liked Barney when they were little.
Yeah,
and then
true.
they fucking hated Barney. So
Yeah,
I
that's
wonder if that's going to happen.
Okay, well, you know, you bring up a really interesting point, Ken. I used to
I always
think that, well, like my daughter used to watch these Barbie movies when she was growing up, and I thought, well, maybe she'll grow out of them.
The made-for-video stuff?
As a 20-year-old, it brings some comfort to him. She likes having them on sometimes, and they kind of make her laugh. And so does anyone out there go and, hey, let's watch that Barney. Let's put that Barney video on. I don't know, but there's something special about those films or those videos that you saw as a kid. Look, I love seeing, you know, every Christmas, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It came out the year I was born, and I remember seeing it maybe at around age 4, and that was so magical to me. And it's not Christmas until I see that. I love having that. Even though now I own the DVD, I can watch it anytime.
But there's not really a dispute that Rudolph is not beloved.
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty much. Yeah,
Even people late to the game recognize it as a great thing. Whereas I think with Godzilla, maybe if you know, you saw that when you were 4 or 5 years old on TV and you went, wow, oh my God, look at that giant monster. And you thought it was cool. And you had nothing to compare it to. I'm sure those kids weren't watching the Showa Godzilla films.
Right.
And so that's where, you know, and I have to say, I have the same kind of stuff, the guilty pleasures of my childhood.
Sure.
Yeah.
And there's a whole slew of like generational differences, like there's Hocus Pocus, you know, a certain generation.
Gremlins,
I'm not into it at all.
Goonies.
Goonies. Yeah.
A lot of fans today with big movies and franchises, I think there's this impatience or this need to know everything about a movie before it even comes out.
And for a lot of people to spoil it too.
Well, like I said, there's already people like online trying to like talk about spoilers for like Avengers Doomsday, like, oh, we leaked this photo, and like, or there's trouble in the set. There's the trailers too, but that's a different thing about like fans going out of their way to, you know,
ruin their own film experience.
These two actors argue on the set of this movie and already had designating this movie is in trouble or is going to bomb before it even comes out. Like that's such a weird thing to me. Like, again, when we saw a movie, like, wow, I can't wait to see that. That looks like it's going to be really cool. So many people go out of their way to want to kind of ruin a movie or the anticipation of a movie before it even comes out, which I don't
love being surprised by a movie.
With Rotten Tomatoes now, it's also aggregators, you know, so you can go on and hate bomb a movie on their meter. Yeah. And, you know, you haven't seen it, but you don't care. You just hate it. So you're going to hate bomb it. And then it's going to get a low audience score because of that.
I don't want to do that. But,
it's going to be hard, I think, for high-profile movies.
Hey, Matt, you did bring up a good point when you were talking about Godzilla and toxicity about Godzilla. And I realized you made me think about something that maybe I've done in the past and I should apologize. It's like, hey, do you have this Godzilla toy? Oh, you don't? Oh, I see. So it's
all the time.
I have this toy or that toy.
When have you ever done anything like that, Larry?
You're proud of your collection. I'm sure there are many listeners out there that say to themselves, I really like my collection and I've got a lot of stuff. Yeah. And then
the Munchkins say that.
No, but when we were at the show and I was talking to somebody and went, oh, do you have this thing? To go, oh, no, I don't have that. it just popped out. I just went, oh,
That's too
I
bad.
feel bad. I feel bad, and maybe is that toxic, or is that just being competitive?
Yes, it's toxic.
It's mildly
That's
toxic.
just being a dick.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So, Sean,
toxic
look, okay.
adjacent.
Okay, so Sean, I need to work on that.
Yeah.
It's not as much being a dick as it is being Larry.
Well, they're one and the same.
I think it's all part of your charm.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Oh,
Truly, I truly
we just
do.
love it when you're a dick.
I do worry sometimes that maybe you're gonna, you got some little kid who's or some young
Little
Godzilla
kid.
fan.
Impressionable
Let's
kid.
say a 20-year-old who's
And you're gonna pull out a
let's say
knife.
a 20-year-old who's starting his collection and maybe doesn't have a lot of stuff, but then you're gonna slam down and I have this and like,
No, okay.
hey, first of all, he hasn't been alive as long as you, so it might take him a little longer to collect, but also ultimately you're always going to lose, Larry, because there's going to be somebody else who has more than you. And so why even make it about that?
I thought you were going to say you're losing because Larry, you're always going to have something more than what they have. And I was going, well, Matt, that doesn't make me lose. It makes me win.
No, see what I
Matt,
did?
No, Matt, I've turned over a new leaf because what I've been doing lately
You're better.
is I belong to a bunch of like creature fan pages on Facebook. People who have creature collectors or whatever, and someone posts a little picture of their little modest creature collection, and they go, "Hey, here's my collection," and I go, "Great collection!" Exclamation point. They go, "That looks terrific!" And every once in a while, there'll be a little thing in there that, oh, what is that? And I'll say, "Hey, where did you get that thing?" Or how did you come by that item? So I am working on that, and actually it gives me joy because I didn't realize that there were so many creature fans out there,
and Godzilla fans, and people who like toys. And when we were all having dinner with August, it brought me back to this time when I had this friend Kevin who lived in my neighborhood, and I swear to God, everything that I got, he would not only get as well or get before me or get all of them. I'd get a package of wacky packages. He'd get all of them because he was an only child, and that's it. He got whatever he wanted. And there's no way I'm going to win that. I just want what I can get.
Yeah.
But so that doesn't make him some sort of savvy collector. He just got more resources. That's all.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
Like Kirk Hammett.
Yeah, I will say this. Something I am also working on is there have been people. I also belong to a lot of Godzilla collector things on Facebook, and someone will show, hey, here's a picture of my Godzilla collection, and it's a bunch of vinyls, and it's a huge collection. And I'm looking at it, and I think to myself, wow, that's an impressive collection. And then that little bitterness, well, but yeah, I would never buy all of those ones. That little bitterness comes in. But it's like, hey, Lair, just appreciate that they went out of their way to get all of these really cool Godzilla things. And I go, yes, inside Larry. Yes, I will. And I make a little
Be
comment.
happy for them. Be happy for them.
Be happy for them. Exactly.
Yes.
But I want to know why you're bitter. Why you feel you have to do this? Why you have to belittle someone because they don't have the thing that you have? Where does that come from? It's like
we're not even recording this, Larry. It's just an intervention.
This is not. I did not press record. This has been a long ramp up to getting you.
There were 4 letters
help.
on your desk.
Intervention.
If you're just joining us, we're talking about toxic fandom. Oh, come on. Am I the only one here? None of you your guys are also, I like your
well adjusted.
Yeah. Well,
for the most part. Yeah.
Do you ever get jealous of someone else's?
Well, no, it's really more like envy. Somebody gets something and I go, oh, that's so great. I wish I had that. And that's where it stops.
Yeah.
I don't go, oh, that motherfucker.
So, listeners, if you have some symptoms like that, perhaps you need to turn over a new leaf and just say to yourself, hey, I appreciate your collection. And I think that collection is great. Right?
Detoxify
Yes.
your fandom.
Yeah.
There.
Call someone, talk to someone. You know what? Call Kirk Hammett.
Yeah. This has been great.
It has been great. I
Yes,
think
it has.
it went in directions that I didn't think it was going to go. I think we revealed something about ourselves that maybe we have a little bit of that toxicness in us.
Well, I think there's
Oh,
only
I've
one
been
of
biting
us.
my tongue this whole time.
And it's something that we need to be vigilant about, you know, if we want to make this a better world.
Yes, yes. I think younger generations, again, I think, guys, if you're a fan of horror and sci-fi and monsters and superheroes, just, man, be happy with all the awesome stuff we have to watch. And I mean, I'm telling you, it's a great time to be a nerd, and not all the stuff's going to be good. Not all the stuff is going to be stuff that you might like, but you know what? There's plenty to choose from.
And if I happen to run into Rian Johnson out in public, I will hold my tongue.
I will hold his tongue.
I will just tongue.
Well, guys, this has been so much fun. This has been great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not
Ken,
toxic
thanks.
at all.
No.
No.
And like Matt said, we learned a little bit about it.
We learned.
Mostly me. But Ken, thank you so much for being a part of
Of course.
this discussion.
Yes.
Always a
Hey,
delight and a pleasure.
Yes.
You got something going on you could let our listeners know about?
Got
As
some
always,
action going on.
Nothing toxic.
as always, I have Brian Passant's Nerd Poker podcast where we
Nice.
play D&D.
Yay.
We've been playing together for 30 some odd years, and
Wow.
podcast has been on for
Wow.
10. So
Nice.
check it out.
All right.
And
Yeah.
other than that, no, nothing much.
Living the life.
Yeah,
Living the Monster Kid life.
building
Right.
models, printing models, painting models.
Cool.
How
Gosh, that's
how
so
can I
awesome.
be you?
I know. And I know you're such a big fan of Halloween. Don't you work on some kind of Halloween party or not? Or
I used to work on the Halloween parade, which is there's the Anaheim Halloween parade. I
Mhm.
believe it's usually the last Saturday before Halloween
Mhm.
in Anaheim. And it's great. It's a charming little Halloween parade.
Well, I
We gotta
think
It's in
you
its 100 and something year.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
We got to get some Halloween things in before we go to Japan. Like, because
Oh, yeah.
we'll have like the first 2 weeks of October, so we should hit some events.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you bet.
Well, Ken, thanks again for being with us. This has been so much fun. Guys, what do you say we raise our glasses and toast to Ken Daly and Toxic Fandom?
Toxic
Time for a listener shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out. Non-toxic shout outs.
Oh yeah, the best kind. Let's turn over a new shout out.
Sean, I think you've got one tonight.
Yeah, so this shout out goes to the website dvdbeaver.com.
Oh,
Oh my.
DVD Beaver is a great site actually that does great in-depth reviews of new Blu-rays and DVDs on genre films. And they reviewed recently the Filmmasters Blu-ray of Right Hand of the Devil
hey.
with commentary by yours truly, Monster Party.
Woo.
And of course, this DVD or this Blu-ray is a double feature. It also features the low-budget Johnny Cash crime flick Door-to-Door Maniac, which is also great sleazy fun. But yes, they reviewed both films, and they also mentioned the commentary that Monster Party did for Right Hand of the Devil, and they gave it a very positive review. Here's a little blurb from the review. The Blu-ray elevates Right Hand of the Devil with the Monster Party podcast raucous feature-length commentary dissecting Aram Catcher's helicopter-fueled vanity project, the $20,000 budget's absurdities like unguarded acid heists, and Dino's Lodge lore amid the hearty laughs at the ham. They also say that this is a deep dive for noir enthusiasts with thoughtful audio commentaries. And they just really love the commentary. So we just wanted to thank DVD Beaver for a very positive review.
Thanks, DVD Beaver. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's some good beaver.
Yeah. And who's interested can still buy this Blu-ray too, and where all Blu-rays are sold. Check it out. So
Would make
definitely
for a
worth
great
it.
holiday gift. Great holiday
Yes.
gift.
That's right.
Also, a shout out to our recent guest, Aaron Newworth, who we were pleasantly surprised to meet up with at Godzilla Fest in San Francisco last weekend.
Yay! Loads of fun.
Aaron was on our recent episode, Are You Godzilla Curious? And we had met him at Monsterpalooza, and then we saw him at Godzilla Fest and hung out all day, and it was wonderful.
So obviously he's still curious.
Maybe a tad less now.
Oh, okay.
And we shot a lot of coverage from that show. We interviewed a lot of vendors, and it was a lot of fun. And we're going to post all that on YouTube. So please keep an eye out on our YouTube channel. We'll be posting that soon.
And we also had an opportunity to meet with the great August Ragoni. He lives in San Francisco.
He does.
Yeah.
And this convention was in San Francisco. So I got to visit my relatives, go to Godzilla Fest. And then we all got to go to dinner with August Ragoni. He was so nice.
What a blast.
Yeah.
Regaled us with all these different stories and a supremely knowledgeable and lovely man.
Yeah, and he's got some exciting projects coming up that he shared with us. So we look forward to talking about those.
Nice.
Now, so Larry, you mentioned Christmas gifts.
I did.
As the season is fast approaching in about 4 months.
It'll be here before you know it.
Yes,
Let me
it's
tell you.
never too early. It's never too early. And if you're wondering to get that perfect gift in time, well, let me suggest the Monster Party merch. We've got T-shirts, we've got shot glasses, we've got PPE cloth masks, the legendary baseball cap. And hey, if you buy from our eBay store, which is, you guessed it, Monster Party Store, and also happen to be a Patreon member, we will throw in free surprise goodies, courtesy of our good friends Jason Lenzi at Biff Bang Pow Toys and foam fabber extraordinaire Ted Haynes.
Two men who suck the nerd poison out of toxic fandom.
Yes, indeed. So Patreon,
Patreon.
I got to say, I'm on YouTube all the time, and I'm subject to so much toxic fandom, and I'm on so many algorithms.
It just rattles your brain.
Targeted.
You're
Yes.
Mr. Algorithm.
I am driven to distraction, and you cannot expect me to remember what this Patreon thing is all about. So can you please refresh my memory?
Okay, well, much in the way that me wearing a big red diaper has a way of soothing the boiling fury of toxic Zardoz fandom, Patreon soothes the anger of not getting enough Monster Party by providing a vast array of exclusive Monster Party bonus content. Now, we're talking stuff like our special audio episodes, shows like Monster Party Masterpieces, Monster Party on the Road, and the mega popular Toy Time series. We also have our legendary Japan trip video diary, behind the scenes convention footage, and vintage sci-fi and horror fiction edited by our resident Lyscarian, John Bordeaux, and more.
Well, there's nothing toxic about all that. I'm sold, but it sounds, I gotta say, it sounds a little pricey, and I'm saving up to buy a complete line of Battlestar Galactica figures so I can have Ken Daly paint in the eyes. How much does this bounty cost?
Well, for the amount of protection money you would pay Shawn Sheridan to stop his online Megaforce bullying, you could become a Monster Party patron. And that price is $5. $5 a month.
Oh my God. You can't get an entire set of action figures from the all-female cast of Ghostbusters from 2016 for that price.
That's true. That is a bargain. Okay. How does one sign up for this?
Well, all you have to do is you go to patreon.com, you go to Monster Party, you click join, you follow the instructions, and next thing you know, you'll be as happy as Minya serving Gabara with a restraining order.
And speaking of restraining orders, we are on social media. We are on Facebook and YouTube at Monster Party, at Monster Party TV. Twitter, and now Blue Sky at Monster Party HQ, Instagram, also Monster Party HQ. And hey, wherever you're listening to us, please take a moment and write us a non-toxic review. We would love to hear your thoughts, and we will read them on the air.
And we won't just read your review. We'll claim it's the first page of a new Harry Potter book just to piss those fans off. On that note, I am Matt Weinhold.
I am Shawn Sheridan.
I'm Larry STROTHE.
And I'm James Gonis.
Keep America strong.
And don't get sucked into the nasty world of toxic fandom.
And if you think we're going to redo this episode just because you signed a petition, fine.
And is that a salacious crumb I see?
Yes, and I have my Amana Man and Salacious Crumb twin set.
Do you
right
know
over there.
Larry,
I kiss it every night.
somebody on Monster Party Instagram posted that Man is going to show up in the new Grogu.
He's in the trailer.
that's
in the
what I
trailer.
heard.
Furry movie.
Yeah.
So you're going to see him finally.
Look what I
in full
started.
force.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
to
They put it in
everyone.
because of
Thank
you,
you.
because of this episode.
You're welcome.
They're starting a
Babu.
whole splinter series with the Manaman, the Amaniverse.
I
Yeah.
bring up the
Yeah.
fucking Amana Man. No one knows who he is. Shawn, you're not suggesting that E.T. is not a good film or it's no. Didn't you
But,
bring?
but
didn't
it's
you get a little
I think it's a
tear
good
in your
film.
eye?
Yeah,
I
but
think it's a good
much
film.
more-
It's a good
but
film.
I
It's
can't
one of
wa-
the
I can't
worst
watch it
special
again.
effects makeups ever created for film.
For what? For what? Elliot
E-
and his mom?
yeah,
What?
no,
What?
E.T.
But for the time though, for
E.T.
the
is a
time,
horrible, horrible,
it doesn't.
No.
No,
terrible
it doesn't.
piece
The
of
Dee
effects
shit.
don't age
Wallace's
well.
makeup was pretty awful, though, too.
Yeah,
I mean,
his I
like a smoky eye.
They put makeup on the ET.
The puppet.
No,
I'm talking about the
no.
puppet. It was
It's
terrible.
puppet.
It's
The
true,
sculpting of
though.
the puppet.
It is interesting though that
It's a
like
terrible, ugly
the
design.
The
It
thing
doesn't-
effects
it doesn't
hold up
even
so
move
well
well.
still, and now you look at the thing you're right, and the ET is very dated now with the effects, whereas the thing is still looks amazing.
Which says a lot about Spielberg is that he made that shitty puppet work.
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
yeah.
it's true. Yeah, I
People
agree.
totally bought it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Well,
now you
by
can
the-
see through the cracks. Now
but
after
y-
time, you can see.
You see, by the same argument, you go, "Oh, that shark." But
Well,
it's
the
like-
sharks, because you never see it, basically.
Yeah, well,
that's
she
true.
did the
That's
same
true.
thing with the
But
shark, right? He
What
made
they
it
did
work.
with ET,
Which is a big problem I have with Alien Earth, but maybe we'll get into that.
Ooh.
I
I'm
fucking
with you.
hated that show.
Really,
Fucking
I
hated
like it a
Wow.
lot, except for
I
certain
did not
elements.
hate it, but I have major problems with it.
The
It's
convenient
still-
writing
it-
is unbelievable.
Compared,
Well, that is absolutely
It's
there are
madness.
definitely flaws, but compared to every sequel to Alien except for Aliens,
It's also
more
shit.
interesting. It's better than any sequel, though.
David?
No, it's not, because there's no
David?
zero stakes in the entire show. Because it's a
Oh,
bunch
I
of
would say
children's brains and robot bodies. There's no stakes. They're
Well,
robots.
I think you identify with the children in there, and want to see if the main girl Wendy.
Which, by the way, was a horrible idea from Go, because performing that is ludicrous and
Well,
and
I
just
agree.
ridiculous.
I think she does good, but I think
She
other
does good.
I don't think she does
struggle.
good. I think she acts like herself. She
I
doesn't
think
act like a
think she's
child in
fine.
a woman's body.
she
She doesn't act like
yeah,
a child.
I think she's fine. It's the other characters I think do.
The other characters I don't
do
care
struggle
about. Anyway.
sometimes being little kids.
Speaking of
Can-
toxic
save
fandom.
it.
Ken, do you
David.
ever think of like watching these like as a kid? Go back to that.
Yeah, I do.
12-year-old
I really do,
Ken.
yeah.
Where's your
And say,
popcorn?
Hey, where's
Where's your-
popcorn? It's like, where's your sense of wonder and imagination?
Where's your
Like,
goobers?
Yeah,
Where's your-
Alien
where's-
Earth isn't for kids.
Where's your hot tamales?
No, the main egregious thing about the Alien show, just to cap it, is the billionaire boy genius who is so
he's great.
cliched.
He's the worst.
He almost ruins the show for me. I kept wishing he's going to get killed, but I
Yeah, I
still
hated
find
hated him the
last
most,
one.
but I hated everybody.
Yeah, no, I think
I do
there's a
have
lot
to say, my favorite hate thing is their ridiculous lack of security.
They had an elevator with a self-destruct sequence.
An elevator.
What? Yeah, it's fucking nonsense. The whole show is nonsense.
When
The
they
whole show's
brought
like
when
that.
they
It's
brought
not just
the
elevator.
eggs in, initially they were just in the middle of the room. Like, just put
Yeah.
them over there.
Yeah.
There's nothing that can go wrong with an alien egg. What's the worst that could happen? Okay, it hatches.
So I haven't seen it, but I really don't care.
Don't bother.
Well,
I actually avoided it because
Yeah, good for you.
every sequel, again, since Aliens, has jumped a shark for me, and the
I
whole
agree.
franchise
I
is
agree.
just
And
so
here's
worn
the-
out. Nothing can redeem it right now, even if Alien
No.
Earth was fantastic.
Yeah. They tried to with one episode of this show.
Well, wait a
but
minute.
still
Wait a minute. So even if it was fantastic, it wouldn't redeem it? Yes, it would,
Nope.
because it would be fantastic.
If it was, but
Because
I
there's
haven't
been
seen
too
that
much
happen yet.
too much disappointment. The whole concept,
Wow.
the whole idea of it is spoiled for me. I've had it.
So,
Matt,
Okay, all right,
so
okay.
let's say
Get those
Josh-
aliens off my lawn.
No, because if Alien Earth were great, if I loved it, I'd be like, oh wow, this is great. I wish the whole last 8 movies didn't suck.
Well,
And
James,
that's
the whole
my-
thing takes place before the first movie, so
Yeah, unfortunately, I've
Which is
seen the
also a
last few
problem.
movies.
well, yeah, that I'm curious about how they're going to explain, how they kept
anything
all this
new-
secret for the first
Well,
movie.
Will
here's my
remind
main
anything new
thing.
that's good will remind you of how bad things are. You are still going to a therapist, right?
No wonder there's a lot of stuff you still haven't seen, James.
Well, if you look here, for an example, something that sort of redeemed Star Wars is Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
With all the shit that they put out,
Yes.
the
Right.
prequels, the sequels, everything,
All the other
Mandalorian
shows.
did it right.
Yeah, I get.
So
The
it is
first-
possible
the first
to
two
get it back,
seasons.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
But-
but
I get
chances
what you're
chances are with these franchises, that's the problem with these $1 billion franchises, because they have to keep that IP alive. They're going to keep
Yes.
making stuff,
Unfortunately,
Right.
and there's going to be shit. That's the thing. It's like
Yeah.
it's bound to happen. The ratio, the percentage of good stuff is going to be rare. That's why I think.
Yes.
I mean, regardless of what we think of Alien Earth, after so many shitty sequels, I was at least pleasantly surprised that there's some artistry and there's some cool stuff going on. I'm not saying it's a perfect show, but I still am enjoying
I
it.
liked where it was going at the beginning. Like I liked that.
Yeah.
It's a
Well,
little bit
that's it.
aliens,
That's
a little
it.
bit
Yeah.
alien.
And the thing is,
But then none of that paid
and they're
off.
going to keep it. They're going to do another season. So how they keep it up, and
Yeah, I'm
they're
out.
going to drag it out, whatever. But
Well-
it's doing well, and it's being received well. So they are going to keep making it.
Look, Matt
I don't
has
think it's a good show, but it
No,
has
no, no.
it
not
has
a perfect show.
I don't think it's a good show, but it has some good things in it. And I'm a Alien fan, and so I'm always rooting for those.
Yeah, me
things.
too.
I mean,
But by
Ken,
the time
Ken.
we got to the 5th or 6th episode, it seems like everyone just forgot to write those. Like,
Oh, they wrote
Yeah.
them way too much, is what I think. They just talked the whole time.
yeah,
Just a lot of talking.
Well, Ken, remember when you were a kid
and the
And,
popcorn.
they and Buck Rogers came out, and it's like, hey, maybe not every episode was great, and some were kind of stupid, but it was great
Some.
that it was there. It
Yeah, but there was
great.
early sci-fi on TV.
Well, that
Yes,
That's understandable. This is a multi-million dollar
But
show.
that connects
Ken.
into what our topic is tonight, because
know.
that we should get that, because
Yes.
that has
Yeah.
a lot
Well,
to
this
do
is
with the
good
fact
bonus
that there's
material.
Yeah,
Sure.
the
Yeah.
fact that there's so much now, and there wasn't when we were growing up,
Right.
and how fandom has changed and all that. So,
Well,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to say that Matt was right. See, aren't you happy I'm saying Matt was right? I think
Holy shit!
it's like and
Is
Sean,
there a
with
blood moon?
these-
Oh my God, there is.
with the amount of money that's paid for these properties,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like to keep your people engaged. And look, let's face it, Ken. We're a little older, we're a little, grayer and stuff. These aren't necessarily for us.
Points to
They're
his
for the-
pointing to
they're-
his dyed hair.
they're for the kids. They're for the 20-year-old, the 30-year-olds, the young kids today. Look,
Well, I
Ken,
think the
I've
kids today
talked to
are
kids.
spoiled
scrappy-
from shit.
And Ken,
Yeah,
look,
what
when
do you-
I
it's-
talked to some kids about Alien and Aliens, they go, I didn't like Alien. It was too slow. It was
Yeah,
very
they think The
dull."
Exorcist is boring.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so it's like
You're like
is
the
different.
you're like the sci-fi art link letter.
if you're the owner of these properties, to continue to sell your comics or to have them go to your theme park or whatever, you do have to make some kind of a gamble or an investment in keeping this thing alive. Look, it would be great if Aliens could have just rested on Aliens, and that's it. But Aliens came out in 84. I mean, how long ago is that? It was a long time. 86. So
but for me, that's it.
And you're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Those two movies, right? Yeah, because those two movies I can watch over and over and over.
No, that
and
is
over
it.
again.
And I would also throw Alien versus Predator. I think that's a really fun movie.
Yeah, me too.
Ken, I think maybe you're getting a little too closed-minded, or like in your little hellhole, saying, "Oh, I don't want to see anything."
Hellhole.
Hellhole?
Says the man speaking from dark
closet.
Oh, this is.
I just think
this has been great. But let's
people
start
only get
the
shit.
show.
Then
We
they'll
could
like
go on
shit.
and on.
We could.
What was that, Ken?
If you give people shit, they're only gonna like shit.
Well, okay.
This is true.
I tell you what.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to this.
Ken, thank you for being with us.
Happy to
Thank you for being Ken.
Thank you, Ken. Try to be a kid again.
Yeah. Hey, Ken, just off the record though, you saw the Barbie movie, right?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Do you like that? Was that
Yeah.
fun? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you sometimes turn on the song I'm Just Ken?
Let's not go crazy.
How did you segue to that, Larry?
Because
his name is Ken.
His name is Ken.
Sometimes
Wow.
the answer's right in front of you, Sean.
Yeah, okay.
2 and 2 is 4.
Don't look for any, hidden messages here.
No, you're right.
It's on the surface. Okay.
I'm just Ken.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm becoming Larry. Okay. All right. Anytime he wants something to stop. Okay.
Am I that predictable?
Kind
God.
of.
It usually
not at all.
happens when
Not in the
people.
least, Larry.
It usually happens when people are laughing and having a good
fun.
time.
Yeah.
And then Larry comes in with okay.
No.
All right.
All right.
See, isn't it? You always want them asking for more. You don't want to.
And I'm sure that's your goal, making those noises. I'm going to make them want more of this by shutting it all down.
It's like you're leaving it on a high note. It's like, oh, that was great.
Oh,
Well,
is that what
thanks
it
for
is?
being
All
with
right.
us.
Again, I learn so much every show. I'll bet you that if you wipe away all the people who aren't really the nerds and who are just looking for a fight, I think most genre nerds are pretty nice. I've never had any sort of weird altercation at Comic-Con. I know I'm sure they happen, but I mean, wasn't there like the guy that was stabbed with a
pencil?
Pencil?
Oh,
But
what
that
was
was in a
What was
line.
it about
But
though?
He was in line for I
It
think
was in a
he
line.
was saving a seat for one of those panels or something.
yeah.
So let's just call that could have been stress and maybe a little bit of bad social skills.
But it was an isolated incident. It's
Yes.
not like these things are happening all over the place.
That's the only thing I've heard.
Yeah,
is
and that's the
that-
thing that is very impressive about a convention of that size that is
Sure.
God, yes.
happening every year.
No,
Well,
but
you
you're right.
should
Though. I mean, there's sci-fi, horror, fantasy, all this stuff. It brings people together from all walks of life. It really does. Like you said, Matt. It's not like you don't have huge conventions for the romantic comedy genre, or
right. Yeah.
or like war movies or something like. I mean, like it's
The four
super-
weddings and a funeral.
Yeah,
convention.
yeah. It's superheroes, monsters, sci-fi, horror. Like that's the
Hallmark
that's-
Con.
Yeah,
And in this age of technology where we're being bombarded with so many opinions and so many messages, all anybody can do is just keep your own head and unplug sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
That is really good advice. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I feel myself, like you said, unplugging a lot more than usual these days. I mean, like movies and shows and collecting, that's what keeps me sane.
Yeah. My comfort food right now is Zatoichi.
Oh, nice.
And what's
nice.
great is
That's
that
fun
there's
because I've been
so
showing
much
Mel
of it.
Zatoichi. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
and it's definitely comforting because it's pretty much the same story every time.
and actually, so there's a channel that I know as a Samurai versus Ninja. You know this one, James? I think it's called
No.
Samurai Shinobi or something like that, but it's a
Not familiar.
great YouTube channel, and they have a lot of, it's mostly Japanese samurai shows from modern day to, the 60s or whatever. And it's a lot of stuff. And they've got all seasons of these shows. And so I'm watching a lot of these Zatoichis, and then I'll try some of these other shows. And it's not quite the same because there's something about Zatoichi's character that's calming. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And he's very soft spoken, but that, when you gotta go, he goes. But yeah, there's just something. And as you were saying, James, it's you know the formula.
Yeah.
Yes, the comfort food, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Ken, I know that you've watched also a lot of these Japanese videos.
Yeah.
Do you also watch Chris Broad, abroad in Japan, English guy who?
Yeah, on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. And I love, like, another comfort thing is he'll do this thing with this guy Connor who has another podcast, and they'll do these things like they try every fried chicken from
from all the different
convenience chain.
Yeah.
That's heaven. Just
Yeah.
watching people eat fried chicken. Oh, you know what, James, did you see this? He's at this place, and it's one of these places that'll serve the giant bowl of ramen. So it'll be like a big bowl of ramen, and then it'll have a bunch of stuff on top of it and meat and some fried things. And it's this ridiculously big bowl. Well, right next to him, they discover, oh, that's one of those championship eaters. And it's this tiny little woman.
Wow.
And this bowl comes out, and it's almost like a bathtub. Like, it's big. It's a big fucking bowl. And it's heaped, and it's all different noodles and pot stickers. I mean, everything you can imagine. And they bring this thing out, and she eats the whole fucking thing. And all she does is, like, she'll get up and jump every once in a while, I guess, to get it down.
Tamp it down.
But you're watching this and you're going, where is it going? Like, where did it go? She doesn't look like she has an extended belly or anything afterwards. It's like, what the? It's like
that hot dog champion, the Nathan's hot dog champion years ago. Little tiny guy.
Walking around Japan, being anywhere in Japan, it's like you don't even need movies or TV. You just look around. You're going to be entertained.
Yeah.